Hello, friends. Good morning and happy Wednesday, and welcome back to another episode of Elaborations with SchellingtonGrin. I'm your host, Ava, your Gothic Witch Big Sis, and today we're going to be talking about a little bit of magic. But specifically, we'll be talking about a kind of magic and energy that tends to be misconstrued in today's world. Today, we are talking about money. Now, before you try to click away or you cringe or reach to skip ahead, I invite you to take a deep breath with me. Because yes, you are listening to the correct podcast. But let's go ahead and take that deep breath real quick before we go any further. On the count of 3. 1, 2, breathe in. And let it all out. Now stay with me, because we are not talking about money in this hustle culture, manifest 10K in 10 days kind of way. We are talking about money as energy, as relationship, and as something that you can actually learn to make peace with so that you have a healthier relationship with it moving forward. So, if you're seated and can take notes, I encourage you to grab your notebook or open up that notes app on your mobile device. And if you're commuting, please, as always, stay safe and obey all traffic and transportation laws. Without further ado, let's dive right into today's episode. Let's kick off this conversation by talking about money as energy and why we may feel weird about it. Because let's be real, most of us have a complicated relationship with money. We've been taught that wanting it makes us greedy, that not having it makes us irresponsible, immature, or impulsive, and that talking about it in any capacity makes us tacky. And let me say, that's a triple bind if I have ever seen one. So what happens? When we learn these conceptions around money, we internalize shame and guilt. We associate money with guilt, silence, and fear. And for those of us on spiritual paths, especially those of us who identify as healers, creatives, witches, or empaths who are working with healing modalities, it gets even trickier. Somewhere along the way, we were taught that spirituality and material wealth can't coexist. But here's the truth. Money is an energy and it is an amplifier. It amplifies who you already are. If you are a kind, generous, and intentional person, having more money gives you more reach to do good things for yourself and others. Therefore, it is not unspiritual to wish for stability, safety, or comfort for yourself. It is sacred to want those things and to want the ability to do those things, such as being able to create more content that can help other people on their growth journeys, or to use that money to donate to charity. The key is to remove the moral judgment from money and to stop treating it like a test of virtue and start seeing it as one of the many energies that we get to collaborate with in this lifetime. Now, let's talk about the shadow side of money, the shadow of shame and scarcity, because yes, money has a shadow side too. For many of us, money wounds come from early experiences, maybe watching our parents struggle, or being told that we don't need much to be happy, or maybe we were praised for making do with less, as if deprivation were a badge of honor. What happened in those instances? We learned to internalize scarcity. We started to believe that having too much is unsafe, or that being broke somehow makes us morally superior or inferior. But scarcity isn't humble. It's a fearful mindset. And what happens with fear? It constricts flow. Because you can't call in abundance while holding shame in your palm. So one of the most magical things that you can do is reframe your money story by asking yourself, what did I learn about money growing up? Whose beliefs am I carrying that no longer belong to me? And when I think of money, do I feel tension or do I feel trust? That awareness alone starts to help you untangle those energetic knots and bring you back to yourself so that you can create a healthier concept around yourself and money. Now let's bring this back down to earth, because yes, we may be witches, healers, and spiritual beings, but we also have rent, bills, and favorite coffee shops that deserve our patronage. So how can we blend the spiritual aspects of money with practical alignment? By seeing that money magic isn't just lighting a candle and hoping for a check in the mail. Money magic is intentional stewardship. Think of it as 3 layers of practice, starting with the energetic. You start with the gratitude for the money that is already in your life, however small. And when you pay a bill, you say thank you for the service or comfort that it represents. Because money likes to be acknowledged, not avoided. Then we move into the practical. You track your spending without judgment, not to punish yourself, but to witness your flow. Because awareness is power. If you can create a small abundance account, even if it's $5 a week, purely for things that make you feel expanded, you start to train your nervous system to associate money with pleasure, not guilt. And then there's the magical. Setting clear intentions before transactions when you buy something so that you can feel more of that abundant energy and less of that lack. When you buy something, bless it. When you receive, say, I am open to this flow. When you're doing this, you're not manipulating the universe. You're harmonizing with it as you allow it to align you with that abundance vibration. And when you merge the spiritual and the practical, money stops being an enemy and becomes a collaborator. Now, let me allow some space for some personal reflection and a little bit of my own story. Because I'll be honest, I used to feel so guilty even talking about money. And when I started doing professional readings and content creation, I underpriced myself constantly giving deals, constantly changing my prices, because I didn't know where to start or what to do. And I learned very quickly that I was criminally underselling. Part of me thought, well, if this is spiritual work, I shouldn't charge too much, right? But here's what I learned. Undervaluing yourself isn't humility. It's self-abandonment. And I had to sit with that version of me who was scared to ask for a fair exchange and remind her that her work has value and so does her time and energy. And money is one of the ways that the universe says, I see you giving. Now let me give back. Once I started shifting my mindset by tracking my money, blessing my income, and creating boundaries with my pricing, everything began to flow differently. I even scaled my pricing up a little bit, and I'm still under market value. And no, it wasn't an instantaneous change. It was gradual. But now it's sustainable. Because now it is built on integrity and not impulse. And as we close out today's episode, here's what I want you to take from this. Money isn't dirty. It isn't low vibrational. It's neutral. It's the intention behind it that makes it sacred or harmful with how you use it and how you interact with it. And when you take shame out of the equation, you reclaim your power. You start to see money not as something that you chase, but as something that responds to how you honor yourself. So this week, I invite you to start small. Speak kindly about money. Stop apologizing for wanting comfort. And the next time you catch yourself saying, I can't afford that, try saying this instead. That's not in alignment for me right now, but I'm open to the possibility. Language matters. Energy matters, and you matter. So let's close this with a little reflection for the road. An affirmation, a journal prompt, and an exercise for the week. Our affirmation is, I release shame around money and welcome abundance as my birthright. I can be spiritual and financially secure. Our journal prompt, what did I learn about money today that I'm ready to unlearn? What did I learn about money in the past that I'm ready to unlearn? And what did I learn recently that is helping me to change my perspective? And the exercise for this week ahead is that every time money leaves or enters your life, take 3 seconds to bless it. Say, thank you for circulating through my world to help me and to help me grow. Notice how that simple act shifts your energy. And as always, if this podcast episode resonated with you, share it with someone who's learning to heal their own relationship with money. Because we're all in this together. No High School Musical pun intended. And don't forget to subscribe to Elaborations with SchellingtonGrin for more grounded spiritual conversations. You can find all of my links, including the one to my Instagram, through my Linktree link in the description box. This has been another enlightening episode of Elaborations with SchellingtonGrin. And as always, thank you for tuning in and sharing this space with me. I'll see you again on Friday, where we'll be diving deep into the origins and magic behind Halloween itself. See you next time. Bye!